You know, my family, like since I can remember, we've been to church. You know, going on Sundays and going on Wednesday, and we just went to church because that was the right thing to do. We didn't really have that, relationship with God where it's like He is our all. It was more of we just went to church, and I used to go to a school. I'm homeschooled now, but it was a strict private school, and when my style was a lot different than like how the people were at that school, and it was like they didn't really accept you if you weren't like them. I mean, it was a school where like everybody wore like the preppy clothes and they played sports. And I mean, I had a couple of my friends that were like, we were just into music because music is my life. I mean, I like sports, but music is my life. But yeah, I wouldn't be as manly as, I guess, everyone else who played sports that was in my grade or higher than me. So, I mean, little stuff like that would get me down, just small stuff like that. And, I mean, that would just go on from that. And then, like, this one time I colored my hair pink. It was all pink. And I mean, I thought that was cool. I was like, pink hair, that's so sick. But I mean, just riding my bike down the street with my pink hair, people would just roll down the window and yell out like the worst things, call me gay, and I wouldn't even know who they were. And I mean, just that stuff would just like tear me up inside. And you know, and well, that went on, and I decided to color my hair back to normal color because I didn't want to be made fun of, I guess. And I mean, I think what really got me like where I just had enough was when, I mean, some like family would put me down for not being as manly, and I would like knowing that God, like I knew God He created everything, and I would look to Him and I'd be like, oh, why'd you make me this way? Like, why can't I be like everybody else who's like more manly? Like, why am I more like feminine, I guess? And I pointed my finger at God and I said, you know what? I hate you. I don't want to follow you anymore. I'm gonna do everything that you're not. And I started to do that. I started, trying to get involved with drugs. Finding any bit of alcohol I could get, and that was just what I was doing. I was kind of like, see, God, I'm gonna do what you don't like because you made me this way. And one thing led to another, and then I got really heavy into pornography, and pornography really ruined my mind. And it took a girl, like how a girl's supposed to be treated and how they are supposed to be respected, it just took that and it just erased it and filled it with this crap that was on the computer. And yeah, that was just that was my addiction, was pornography. And the more and more that I got into that, the more it kind of went into real life, to where I would take advantage of friends that I knew that liked me. And I mean, I didn't really have that strong feelings for them, but I knew they liked me, so I'd take advantage, and I lost a lot of friends over that. And it was, my life, like I said, my life was about music, so, thank you. My life was about music, so I looked up to like rappers and musicians, and they would sing about their stuff, like how they have all these girls and money and this fame, and that was just what I wanted to be. But one instance, this whole week, there was this week that I felt like I was not loved at all, and in that small feeling of like I don't feel loved at all, Satan really just came in and he took that and he just made me feel worthless. And this one time I texted one of my friends, and I asked for a picture, and she said no. And I kept on asking, and looking back on this is so stupid, but I threatened my own life if I did not get a picture from her. And after that night, it just went all downhill. And in the morning, I woke up and my mom was on the phone, and I found out that she was talking to the police. She's told because she was concerned about my safety. She thought I was going to hurt myself. And I was not about to go through what I was about to go through. Like, I was so scared it was going to happen. So immediately after that, I just ran to the kitchen. I grabbed a knife, and I was about to just take my own life right there. And while I was doing that, my little brother was watching the whole thing. And he looked at me, and he ran out of the house crying. And when I was watching him do that, my mom got me to let go of the knife. And after that, everything was just like different, like way different. My relationship with my parents wasn't as strong, and I lost their trust, and that's just how it was from that point. And then there's these camps called Elevate and stuff like this, like Illuminate, where it's a spiritual high. I would go and I would feel God's presence, and I would love it so much. Like, I'd feel God here, and then after that, it's just back to nothing. And there's this one thing called Calling All Skaters in LA, and my mom told me I was going to it, and I really didn't want to go because I was like, that's so lame. But she made me go, and I went, and I was expecting like going there, it's just going to be a bunch of skaters that just want to go skate in LA. It's not going to be that big of a deal. But when I got there, almost every single one of those skaters they were like just like me. Like, their life was like taken over by Satan, and then God like saved them, and they're so on fire for God, and they love to skate. And I mean, I like being around that atmosphere. And we went in on the streets of LA to skate on the Hollywood Stars, and stuff like that. And we would tell people about Jesus, and just to see people's reaction, like where they have nothing, and then when we come talk to them and tell them about Jesus, they're like, we made their day, and that made my day. And so I came back from that trip really, really changed. I feel like I connected with God, and I started to love God again. And and when I came back, I was ready to tell everybody. Like, when I came back, I was like, man, I gotta tell everybody I see on the street that Jesus loves them, and tell his story. And I'm not really good at like speaking like in public and stuff like that, but music is something I find that I can speak to people. And so I started making music that glorifies God, and music that people can relate to the story that I have. And that's where I am today.
So what advice do you have for your peers out here?
Advice is, don't just be a Christian that goes to church. They go to church because it makes you feel good, like, hey, I went to church. Have a relationship with God. Like, this dude is so cool. Have a relationship with him. Like, he loves you so much. And again, like, just be a disciple. Tell everybody. I mean, this is like the best thing ever. Just go and tell everybody.
Tell us about your favorite verse.
My favorite verse is Matthew 5:13. It basically says, we're the salt of the earth, and we bring forth God's flavor. So, yeah.
And what does love have to do with your story?
Love has to do it. In the time where I told God I hated him, wanted nothing to do with him, I'm going to be everything that he's not, God was still, he said back, he's like, I'm crazy about you still, and I love you to death.
All right, well, you guys are in for a treat. Nate is going to share his gift of music with you.
The song is called Turn Up. Y'all can stand up if you want. Fanatic Christ status, and I had it, but I smashed it, God smashed it. He took it, beat it, and threw it away. Now I'm living in a brand new way, in a brand new day. Now I'm living unafraid and unashamed. Romans 1:16, I'm repping the King. Luke 2:14, all glory to the King. Mark 16, you can't kill my King. LeBron James, you ain't come close to my King. Every second, every minute, I'm gonna get it. Everybody wanna hear it, so I'll preach it, teach it, free it. Here's the Bible in my backpack, so you go and read it, learn it, eat it, read it, sleep it, live it, learn it, love it, kiss it. Don't do that last one. Okay, now study up, get some knowledge in your head, cause you never know the day that you'll be questioning about your faith. Yo, ask what you believe. Hey, where you get your facts? The Bible. My God will save your life. Just look what he did for me when Satan was in control. God just told him to leave. My Lord has got power. Yeah, a true superhero. I don't give 10%. You just add another zero. I'm a sold out freak. What you want me to do? I ain't into that worldly stuff. Oh, what? I can't hear you. Too busy spreading the word. Refreshing them at church. New things I haven't heard, but that's what I prefer. Alright, last one. I live to tell a story. Y'all think this kinda boring? You think that is so easy with this and that I'm ignoring? It's hard, try to fight it, and I wanna give in. But when I think that, I just look back at what my Savior did. It was out of love, yeah, we ain't deserve it. Should've been us up on that cross, should've been us that was hurting. But he went and took our place, and we act like it ain't enough. As for me, I thank Jesus, he's the reason why I turn up.